latest episode of Rich and Weibo present the Local Artist Show. We have another guest. He's another return champion. He's been on the show before, and he's back again because he's always got something going on, and we love it. His name is Keith Hall, musician. So without further ado, Keith, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Rich, Weibo, and everybody out there. I'm doing well. How you doing, my man? I hope everybody out there is doing as good as can be expected. That's what I say now. As good as can be expected, because things are going on that are kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, right now?
Yeah.
I, for one, am saying I'm having the time of my life right now. I have so many things going on. Just
Excellent.
Recently, I hosted a paranormal convention over the week. I was a master of ceremonies. I was featured in a book that was released at the Paracon. I was signing autographs, interviewing people. I'm having a good time. So I mean, I know what you're saying, but
nope. It's all good, man.
Yeah, it is all good.
And I got this thing where you keep your circle of friends, you do as best you can around what you got, and it'll spread to everybody else.
Exactly. And I'm glad that we have you back, because you, I think, were the second guest. So you were second guest. And as I mentioned in the intro, you're a musician. So let's just do a refresher course for the people who didn't see the first episode. I see you have a keyboard in the back, so you're obviously a keyboardist. What else do you do?
You ready?
Got one of my guitars back here too.
I can see that now. And I see a microphone, so I'm guessing you sing as well.
I can carry a tune. Let's put it that way. But I play on my instruments first, but I do sing once in a while. Every so often, when I was with Wibo's band, I do a tune. Remember Wibo? You did a couple songs.
Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah. Keep hard.
Yeah.
Keep hard.
And played a little blues harp too.
Yeah. Tonight's your night. Keep hard. Again.
Well, let's talk about the Keith and Wibo band, because the last time you were on the show, Wibo was on the show. You didn't say a word about you two playing together. So let's hear it.
Well, Weeby, can I take over for a bit, or do you want to do it? This is your man.
Go ahead, get it started, Keith.
Well, Wibo had a band for a long time, Motown band, and about 22 years ago, I just played piano while his band took a break, and his keyboard player at the time left the band. So Wibo contacted me and asked me to join. So I was with him for about 20 years or so.
Yeah, long
but
time.
you know how life is. We lose people. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of people due to age and passing away.
Yeah.
And life just happens. And but Weeb and I are still buddies. We will be forever. And Bill is still Bill's still around. Bill
told me to tell everybody hi. He's back in Connecticut.
Yeah. So for about 20 some odd years, I've been playing keyboards with Weibo's band. A lot of Motown music, a lot of contemporary music, and a couple solo sing songs once in a while. So
we had a good time.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Keep on.
Absolutely.
But what did you play in the band? You sing?
I sang and do a cushion.
And
see, you know what's funny? I say this almost every episode of the show. Every time I talk to Weibo, I find out something new about this guy.
Oh yeah, we used to call him the Mayor of Torrington. That's what we used to call him. The unofficial Mayor of Torrington.
Unofficial man. That's what. Yeah. Get it right, keep on.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Got my vote, Weibo.
No.
For mayor.
No. Vote for me.
So percussion. So was it a drum set?
Like tangerines and bells and stuff like that. You know.
Because we had a real good conga player, real good. So we had that for percussion. So Weibo played with the egg with the rattle in it, and tambourine and stuff like that.
In that band, what did you play? Guitar?
Me?
Yeah.
Mostly keyboards, occasional guitar, and harmonica.
What covers did you do?
Weibo, that's your man. You take that one, man.
Oh, we done some Motown stuff, some rock and roll, blues, gospel, a little everything, country. Yeah.
I even did a couple of Gordon Lightfoot songs.
Yeah, you did.
I love Gordon Lightfoot. Are you two fans of Elvis?
I like some Elvis songs.
The reason I'm asking, because obviously his whole inspiration came from gospel and the blues. Yeah. And I just saw the movie recently, and I just wanted your opinion, if you saw it or if your opinion on it, because I personally to not like Elvis until about 5-6 years ago. For some reason, I never got into his music. I really could care less. And then I don't know, I was playing it was on the radio one time. I said, oh, I like this song. Then another song came out. I said, oh, wait, I like this song too. And I realized, I'm like, maybe I like him a little bit more than I thought I did.
Yeah, I never cared for him either until fairly recently, maybe 10 years ago. But what turned me on to his music, not so much him, but his band was awesome.
Oh, what a band.
You hear the bass player playing on Burning Love and Suspicious Minds. And yeah, so that band of his, I think a lot of it was from the Wrecking Crew. They really made him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I know the movie is mostly untrue. I read the facts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read a lot of it, and one of the things was the Colonel Tom Parker or Colonel Parker, who I guess he was never obviously Colonel. That wasn't even his real name. And in the movie, they make it seem like that he told him off on stage in the middle of everybody in Vegas and this and that. And they said that he never even knew the truth about him. That everybody found out about Colonel Parker after he died. But he actually did make Elvis, and he was more of a carny. So he was more of a showman. So he was able to just do the whole circus act.
You know that song, that really good song, Cold Kentucky Rain?
Yes, I love that song.
Well, Eddie Rabbit wrote it. Remember Eddie Rabbit?
Yeah.
I love a rainy night.
Rainy night. That is a great song.
So this is what I'm saying before about people making a certain musician. The band made Elvis. Some other songwriters made him, just like Jimmy Webb. Jimmy Webb made Glenn Campbell, as far as I'm concerned. Glenn Campbell's talented, but he sang all Jimmy Webb's songs, Yeah,
actually, that's a good question, because did he write any of his own songs? I don't think so.
Elvis or Glenn Campbell? Elvis? Not sure.
Right.
Not sure. We can always Google that.
Yeah, it's just I saw a documentary. Well, I saw a documentary. I also saw the play. It's entitled "Beautiful." It's the story of Carole King, and it talks all about all the songs and all the bands that she wrote for. The first half of the play was all about, because she and her husband are in the Rock and Roll Writing Hall of Fame, and they wrote so many. And it was finally, obviously, the way you're shaking your head, Keith, you know the story where she went through a horrible divorce. He was just a complete jerk to her, and she wrote Tapestry, which is the album, and she was and they're like, you know what, this one's way too personal. I'm going to sing it for myself, and that's when it became such a big hit. But people don't realize. I am one that used to say this too. I said, you know what, these musicians today, they don't write their own music. They don't do anything. A lot of the musicians in the '60s did the same thing. They had somebody else writing their songs for them.
Didn't Carole King do a lot of Motown music? I know not Under the Boardwalk, Up on the Roof. She wrote Up on the Roof, I think.
Oh, she did?
She wrote a lot of the Monkey songs, and I can't remember now because it's been several years since I saw it, but all these songs that you would know. It's like, oh, she wrote that song? Wait, she wrote that song too? Yeah, it's just another perfect example is Linda Ronstadt. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you know the story about her. I saw several documentaries on her. And what happened with her was that somebody saw her at an open mic. It was actually Chad and Jeremy, that band Chad and Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the musicians, I can't remember which one, is a record producer. And he said, I want you. She goes, I really cannot write music. I can't write songs. I just like to sing. He goes, I will pick every song for you. And if you notice, she does a lot of cover songs like Buddy Holly, That'll Be the Day. That's just one example. I think she does a cover of Heatwave. I could be wrong, but
she does.
Yeah, so she does a lot of cover songs, and I know people get so mad. Oh, see, she's nothing else she does is sing other people's songs. And then I found out why. She told them, she goes, I cannot write my own music. I just love to sing. And I love that you could just like, there's so many open mics that you probably go to as well. Imagine just going there and being found and saying, oh yeah, I want to sign you to a 5-record deal.
That'll be my dream. I'm 66 years old now. Let's see if I could have it or not. But
you know what though? I got to say something, and I don't know if you know this story. Ronnie Dangerfield. I'm sure everybody knows who that is.
Again, no respect. Yeah, no respect. Yeah.
Well, he said, if I don't make it by the age of 40, I'm quitting comedy. He didn't make it by the age of 40. He became a roofer or something like that. Yeah. And they said he kept on writing jokes. And one day he said, when he was 50 years old, he said, maybe try to get one more time. And that's when he came up with the whole no respect shit. That took off, and that's when he became famous. So you never know.
You never know.
People think that
right time.
What was that?
Right place, right time.
Well, that's also very true.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, a perfect example, I say this almost every interview because with a musician, the Beatles. If the Beatles came out now, people would think they're a joke. If the Beatles tried to change from Love, Love Me Do, I Want to Hold Your Hand to Sgt. Pepper's, they would drop by the label in a second. People would say they're sellouts. People say they suck. So yeah, it's right place, right time. I'm so glad that bands back then, like them, the Rolling Stones, I could think of so many other bands, had the chance to actually progress and become better and change their style. And because we would have lost out on so much great music if people had the ADD that we have now.
Absolutely. But as far as I'm concerned, though, really, I do it for fun now. You know, I've had my career in the professional world, and now I'm having a good time, which is part of what I mentioned. I just joined a band last night. I have a friend of mine who knows somebody, and they needed a keyboard player. I live down here in Tampa Bay now. So I said, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I was skeptical. I'm driving up with my equipment in the car, and they were the nicest bunch of guys, a female singer, and I fit right in, and I think we're going to be okay.
All right, keep on.
Yeah.
What kind of music?
It's contemporary music, all covers, which I want to change, by the way, because I got a few songs I wrote when I kind of interject, but I just joined the band, so I can't push it too hard.
Stick it in there.
But right now, it's as you said, You're No Good, that kind of thing. Contemporary music, some Neil Diamond, some Stevie Wonder, your typical music, which people of my generation will play. But again, I do want to change it up a little bit, maybe get a little ZZ Top in there, some of our own funky music, get a little blues jam going on, that kind of thing.
Now, do you take the song and make it your own, or do you do the cover just like the original?
Personally, I find when I do my solo work, I'll definitely make up my own because I do play guitar and I do some solo stuff. With a band, got to work with them, and maybe they'll see things my way. But I don't want to push it too hard. But right now, from the rehearsal I had last night, which is my first and only so far, they kind of play it pretty straight, but doesn't mean it can't change.
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up because I interviewed two bands on my other show. One band was just recently. His name is Mystic Bowie. Did you ever hear of Talking Heads?
Of course,
so,
David Byrne.
Well, perfect. All right. So I knew you would. Believe it or not, I talked to some people and they're like, "Who?" And I said, "Burning Down the House." Oh, that's them. I didn't realize that. So that's why I forgot who I was talking to. A musician. But he was in a band. Well, Tina Weymouth and Tina
Weymouth on bass. Yeah.
Yep. And Chris Franz was a drummer. That was her husband.
Yeah.
There was a lot of infighting with David Byrne, so they formed their own band, the Tom Tom Club. The guy that the guy that I interviewed was the lead singer of the Tom Tom Club, and then they sort of took a break. So he said, "You know what? because he's from Jamaica, the singer that I interviewed, and he said, I want to do a band. I love the Talking Heads. I want to form a band called Talking Dreads." And he does his own original songs, but he does Talking Head songs, but in reggae style, and I love it. And there's another band I interviewed named Tragedy. They're a metal band that play disco songs, and that's what I love. I love when a band takes a song and does it their own way. And it was funny because I went to go see Paul McCartney for the first time. I don't know why it took me so long to see him at Fenway Park. And Mystic Boy, I made a comment. I said, "Oh yeah, I can hear Paul McCartney playing Jet during sound check," and I get a text. He goes, "Rich, you got to hear my version of it." And his version is great. He does a version of Jet reggae style. So that's why I think that, it's good when a band, I love it because now, unfortunately, bars, if you want to play bars, they only want to hear covers because they want people to get drunk and hear familiarity. But I love when a band takes it and makes it their own. And you're like, wait, there's a singer I saw not too long ago. And I said, wait, I'm singing along the song, and the way he was doing it, I said, how do I know the words? What song is this? I didn't realize until after the first verse it was Michael Jackson because he made it his own. I'm like, I know this song. Where do I know this song from? And so I think it's good that, and you have played music for so long.
Yeah, I started piano when I was about 10. Taught myself guitar at 14. So, but let me ask you about making music your own. I don't know if you know or not. Maybe Weibo might know, but how does that work out legally? Is there anything that you have to be careful about if you take someone's song and make it, as you mentioned, your own? Is there any kind of legal repercussions, or I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know, because I did in the case of the Talking Dreads, he asked Tina and he asked Chris, and they said yes. And the producer, who I guess some of the guy who owned, I don't know if it's a producer or he owns a lot of the music, and he said, under one condition, you have to do this one song. He goes, I'll gladly do this song. It was a Talking Head song that he loved. But I'm not sure, like with David Byrne, because I know he couldn't really get into it, but he just said that, let's just say there was a lot of animosity on David Byrne's side between, and so I don't know if he had to get he got full permission from the other band members, but yeah, I know when I interviewed people that own a Beatles exhibition, largest Beatles exhibition in the world, his band played when Pete Best was in the band, she dated Paul and George. And she said she had to contact, at the time, Michael Jackson's lawyer, because he owned the rights to the Beatles song. She had to contact George Harrison's lawyer, Paul McCartney's lawyer, Ringo Starr's lawyer, Yoko Ono. And she had to go through everything just to play the songs. And that was only a clip or two in the different rooms. So I know there's, as you said, there's a lot of legalities. I'm not exactly sure if you change it up a little bit, because I know when you say something on TV and you're making fun of something, if you change it by one letter, they can't do anything to you.
Okay. Now, one of my CDs here, Equinox here, I actually had to get a hold of the artist of that. That was a picture on the internet, just to be on the safe side. I actually got a hold of her. She's an artist in Germany. I asked her if I could use it on my CD, and she emailed back saying no problem. Because even something like that, if I took a photograph, that's not a photo, that's artwork. And if I use it for my own, you've got to get permission.
Right. So, well, there was a place in Southington called Blackstone. They actually shut down for a while because the bands were playing cover songs and they got sued. I guess, what is it called? ASCAP?
ASCAP, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't want to pay for it. They were being cheap. And I don't know if they got sued or they got shut down for a while, and there's no bands that could play there for the longest time, just because they were playing cover songs. And but you can answer this question for me now, because what happens at open mics? Like can they get, because there's a church, like an example would be, there's a place, and I think you would be great at this. It's a place called the Mediator Stage in Providence, Rhode Island. I used to do comedy there all the time. They have open mics with guitarists, singers, poets. It's a great place. And the headliner gets 45 minutes and you get paid for it. But they were talking about the day they were being forced to do ASCAP. I'm like, why? You do an open mic at a church? They're going to be that much of a jerk about it? So,
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Because when you go to open mics, most people just get up there and play their favorite cover songs. I mean, some people play their originals, but what about you?
Go ahead. See, go ahead, Weibo. Answer the.
Well, because I know, like what they trying to do. Say you have a cover tunes, you go to some of the bars, and they got some kind of contract. Some people had to sign up for. It's a big mess. I know one time I did a cover tune about the OJs, and I had to send this big long contract out, send it to the lawyer. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process, yeah.
What were you going to say?
People looking for their money. That's all it is. Looking for the money. I get paid.
Oh, by the way, Rich, the band I'm playing with now, the drummer who recruited me, checked out my old interview. He Googled me and he says, "Oh, I like your interview with you did that with a guy, Rich. That was cool." All right. Well, so, see, once you're out there, everyone can find you. So,
anyway. This was at the local artist show.
Yeah.
Tell them to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I will.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We got our own channel now, right, Rich?
Yep. So we separated the YouTube channels because it was originally just under Rich there, and it had the Claus Corner, it had Local Artist Show, it had Real Talk, it had Nutmeg Chatter. So I said, let's give a Local Artist Show its own channel. So trying to get that out there.
And we own every other week, right?
Yep.
WPJ.
Yep, that is true.
Going to connect.
So Keith, for you, what you just joined the band. Where can people see you if they want to see you perform? Right now, are you just doing open mics, or do you have some shows planned?
The band has had a couple gigs where they're fairly new. The short answer is we don't have any gigs planned yet, but that's going to change very, very soon. Believe me, I'll go on your channel. Maybe I can mention something about when we do start playing out. Okay.
Yeah, mention it. That'd be good.
And I'm still fitting in. I think I'm a good keyboard player, but it takes a while to fit in. And they're good people, and we had a good time last night, and I can't see any reason why we can't go any farther. So.
You know what I love? I've been going to a lot of breweries and seeing there's a lot of great bands playing. That's like the new thing to do is for bands to play. And so there's so much more. Like now that, I mean, for the most part, COVID, I think, is over. I mean, places are opening up. And, they're not really social distancing. They're letting people play. And it seems like sometimes I'll see 3 shows in a week now because there's so many things going on. So I love the fact now is a really good time.
In my town down here, I'm sorry, Rich, I cut you off there. But in my town down here, Dunedin, Florida, open mics everywhere.
You know what's sad, though, when I want to talk about Mystic Bowie again. He said that because a lot of the clubs that he performs at want to recoup their losses from 2020. So what they're doing is getting cheaper by giving them less money. And he said, I really can't, the gas is going up. I'm driving. I don't have money for hotels. I play music to make money. I do it for love, but I really, I don't want to just make, break even. So he said he canceled a lot of gigs because some of the clubs are being cheap because they're undercharging the band and overcharging the customers trying to make their money. He goes, why should they get all the money while I'm doing all the work? So unfortunately, do you see any of that?
I have not seen it yet, but I don't even look for it either. If I play at a place out, I just play and whatever. Because when I do open mics, I don't get paid or anything like that. Now, the band could be a different story. Again, we're just kind of getting our groove together here. So I'll keep you guys posted on how the band progresses.
When I was doing Artwell, remember Artwell I was doing?
Sorry. That's where I met you.
I did it for like 17 years. Yeah. And it got to a point that like I was there every week. I used to get people from New York, New Jersey, all over the state, out of state, everywhere. Yeah. And we had a good time too. Yeah.
That's where I met you, Weibo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that? Where's Artwell?
Artwell used to be an art gallery in Torrington, Connecticut. Water Street. Yeah.
Like Four Corners?
Oh, it's like 5 Point Gallery, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying Four Corners, but yeah, I know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. They've been around a long time, and the guy who runs it, Stu Wilson, he's international.
Stu. I remember.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah,
very good.
Because I think when I used to do a audio radio program where I would do voices for the show, and we did a live one. But John Noelke was running it. That was what's it called? 5 Point. He was unless he was running the room next door. I can't remember exactly where it was, but
you're John Noelke?
Yeah, he was running something over there, but he did a lot of open mics. So I mention this all the time, and this is one of the reasons why Wibo and I started the show. There is so much local talent.
Oh man,
people don't realize there's so many talented people in just this area alone. And I'm so glad that just doing the show, I met so many great people.
There's a lot of talent out there, no question about it.
It is. The thing is, like when I started doing open mic, Stu asked me, and he heard about me. He said, Weibo, we want to start an open mic up here in Artwell. I said, okay, I do it. And I've done it every week. I did it for. And then I was trying to get the people who come here to sign up. Do their 2 songs and that's it. And I just tell some of the people, especially some of the hosts who hosted the open mics, this is not their show. This is an open mic. This is open for the public. You know what I mean? And some people get carried away.
They get carried away.
It should be a fun thing.
Yeah, they bring in drum kits. They spend about 20 minutes setting up. There's 5 guys in a band. It's an open mic. Bring your guitar and play a song and leave.
Leave. Yeah, tell a joke or whatever.
I know. Unfortunately, when I was doing stand-up comedy, it was the same way. They would just go on, and you're supposed to get 5 minutes, and I'm like, you showing them the light, and they won't get off. And finally, basically, you have to grab the mic, say, "Thank you very much. Have a good night."
You got to get the hook. You get the hook.
Exactly.
Well, what I used to do, right, when I used to be the host, right, and they up there too long, right, I said, just give so-and-so a hand, you know what I mean? I mean, they'd be out there like 20 minutes and people back there waiting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they take one song, man. They play for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way. This is a fun thing. If you got some comedy thing you want to try out or whatever, open mic is a good place to start some. Yeah. And you get to respond from the people. Open mic.
Like a lot of competition with the other musicians.
Not within the band. You mean other?
Oh yeah, with other band. Like so an example would be like the different open mics. Because I know like when I was in stand-up comedy, it was just horrible because everybody was just backstabbing everybody. Like they thought that they're the ones that everybody else sucked and they should be up on. It's like, well, there's room for everybody. Why do you have to? Yeah.
And I've been very lucky. The bands I've been in, Weibo's band, other bands, and of course the one I'm in now. Great people. Everyone gets along pretty well. But yeah, to answer your question, I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen it before where someone's they don't think you're that good. They want to take over. And then like Weibo said, they want to do more than 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah, they can't.
No. Yeah.
It can't. Yeah. When I went to, it's a place in Thomason Opera House.
The Opera House. Yeah.
And the Opera House, right? And they have it twice a month. Well, then they get it twice a month downstairs. Then they go upstairs to the main stage. And people coming in, man, you must have had about 40, 50 guitars, man, all in a way. And they had to tell people, man, put the guitars close to them. And then they come back on stage. So, well, there's no 2 songs. You have to do one song because there's a lot of people. And you be getting out at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yep. But you are right, Rich. And when you're at this level or open mics and that kind of thing, and I don't want to sound critical because we're all human beings, but there are people who play your music, but you're not Eric Clapton. Do your 2 songs,
Enjoy it.
Right. You're good. Get nice applause. And if you're really good, someone might find you,
That comedian Rich Sears.
I always said less is more. Like
less is more.
And give people wanting more. Say, play a couple songs. Say, I'll see you next week. Come back. I have a lot more to play. Instead of playing like your whole set in one shot.
And you find that also, in my opinion anyway, in music production. I was in a band called the East of the Sky Orchestra, which was named after a song that I wrote. But unfortunately, without being critical now, just saying the facts here, too much of the music was overlaid. Another synth, cello, bass, yada. Next thing you know, it sounded like mud. Sometimes less is more. 1 instrument, 2 instruments. I think some of my solo work sounds better than that exact same work that was modified for the orchestra. Because, in my opinion, especially now with technology the way it is, too many people overlay too much on their music. I got a couple of synthesizers here. I use them, but I still like a piano, period. A bass and a guitar. Okay. And that's it.
That's why I laugh at these musicians that think that they have to be so intricate and show everybody how great they are. Some of the most popular songs in the world, as I mentioned, a lot of the early Beatles, Lola by the Kinks, You Really Got Me by the Kinks. You have Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. Those songs have any song by AC/DC. 3 chords. Listen. You sing along to it. You remember them. It's great. You don't have to be so intricate, so over the top to show everybody like, oh, wow, he's a genius.
Hey, listen, John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, Woody Guthrie, 3 chords, 4 chords. Some of those blues songs by John Lee Hooker, he was sitting on a porch playing his guitar. Boom, 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 boom. That's all it was,
Yeah. No, exactly. Are you a jazz fan?
Depends on there's different kinds of jazz. I like smooth, what they call smooth jazz. Some jazz that is out there. I've been to some jazz shows where everybody takes the solo and it's about an hour before the band's all done. But yeah. But smooth jazz, yeah, I can get into some of that. Sometimes, like I used to get up in the morning, and I have Alexa here, and I go, Alexa, she's gonna hear me now. I can see it now. She's gonna hear me, and I'd ask her to play the news. I don't do news anymore. I say play smooth jazz. That's all I want to hear in the morning now. I don't want to hear the news.
Neither do I. I don't want to know what's going on in the world.
Right. Just give me some smooth jazz.
Hey, Keith and Rich. When I go see friends of mine invited me to come see their band who I was playing, right? And people see me in the audience and say, Weibo, what are you doing here? I said, I'm coming to see my friend and play. They said, are you going up there too? I said, no, this is their thing.
Yeah.
And only time they see me on stage when I'm up there, it's already planned already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy it. You have a good time. It's not about me. I'll come and see my friend play.
Yeah.
Let's sit back and watch him.
Right.
Or her.
I hear you. Yeah.
Obviously, you don't get the memos when I'm playing.
No. Watch out. Rich Sears here. Get the rocks out.
I never see Weibo in the audience at my shows.
Pretty soon.
You mentioned jazz, though. I like people like Oscar Peterson and Barney Kessel and those old-time jazz players. Oh, they're really good.
I'm gonna bring that up because I like I like smooth jazz, and I guess it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But I love the jazz. It's just like the funky jazz.
Oh yeah.
And I'm making. I know I'm not a jazz connoisseur, so I'll mention some bigger names. But I was at the Hartford Jazz. Well, I wanted to go. Usually go all 3 days, but as I mentioned, I was hosting the Paranormal Convention Saturday and Sunday, so I couldn't make it. But Friday night, I went to the Hartford Jazz Fest. I love that, and they have some great jazz musicians there.
Bushnell Park, right?
Yeah.
Outside. Yeah, I've been there once. I was there once.
Yeah, nice place.
They really do. And there you go. As far as local artists go, those people are fantastic.
Ooh.
You know?
Oh,
yeah.
But I had my nephew and my a friend of mine, and I was doing my tour, and I took them down New York. It was a big, big production. They have artists, TV stars. There was celebrity judges and stuff, right? And the guys who done the rap part, there wasn't no swearing in it. Regular rap, real good. And the guys who I brought down there, they didn't win, but somebody saw them. Professional people saw them. They took them down to New Jersey, down to the penthouse to work with them.
Good. Yeah.
Right place, right time. What you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you for some of the bigger jazz names? Are you a fan of Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa?
Oh, of course, Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa, absolutely. Yeah, good drummers.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I love watching documentaries. I love reading books, and I read a biography on Buddy Rich. I did not know, for the most part, he was self-taught. He did take drum lessons later in life.
Yeah, he was.
But they said what he would do was he would sit. Somebody would play the part once. He would say, "That's it. Get out."
That's
and
all
then
he needs.
He would take. Yeah, it only took him one time to learn how to play a song, and in the very beginning. Then later on, he's like, for me, for rock, I think the best drummer was Neil Peart. Like, that was amazing.
And that's one thing that I asked a drummer in one of my other bands about. Yes, there are drum lessons. There is score for drum music. But a lot of drummers that we know in rock and roll, they just get up there and they just do it. And as far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but very few drummers actually took drumming lessons.
Most of the great ones, they said they just learned.
Yeah.
I took drum lesson in summer school, and I started from scratch, man. It wasn't easy, I'm not, I got better at it, then I just stopped doing something else there. And I had they give you a little pad, you had to bang on it. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a lot of work, timing, the beat. Yeah.
Now, what about you, Keith? I think you maybe mentioned last interview that you're pretty much self-taught. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, pretty much. I did take piano lessons for about a year when I was 8 or 9 years old, but I gave up on it. And I turned about 12, 13. I picked it up again on my own. So I learned most of it on my own. The guitar is all self-taught.
When you were, because you learned how to play the piano, did you find it easier to play guitar?
I don't think it made a difference, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When I was in my early teens, late, adolescent, I was totally, I may have mentioned this last time I talked to you, I'm totally mesmerized by the folkies of the era, Dylan, Tom Paxton, those guys, and that's why I wanted to learn guitar, because I wanted to sit in my bedroom, play Blowing in the Wind on a 6-string guitar. And so I had a Bob Dylan songbook that I used for piano. And it's got the little box chords, all the little, the boxes with the chord. And that's how I learned guitar. Okay, that's how you play a D. Okay, I can do that. I can play a C. And now I'm all over the guitar. I don't even know what I'm playing sometimes. All I know is it sounds good. I don't really read music on the guitar, but I do know chords. And I will do lead, but I just have to do it by ear. Piano, I can read music, but the guitar is different. And the thing is, I remember I had a Sears Silvertone guitar that my mother bought me for $13, and she thought my life was going in the pits, because oh my God, my son's a guitar player now. But and now I've got 8 guitars, and but yeah, the silly Sears Silvertone guitar with the action like this, and my fingers were bleeding, and I was banging out Blowing in the Wind, and so.
Keith, I took a piano lesson.
Mm-hmm.
My wife used to work second shift, and my kids is get out of school. I had to go do my piano lesson for like a half hour or something like that, and it was tough, man. It was tough. It was tough.
Well,
then after I started improving, if I could have kept doing it, oh man, man.
Well, you are right. It is tough, because for my first semester in college, I was a music major. And music theory is very, very difficult. So
yeah,
I changed.
What'd you play on the piano? What songs? Like what musicians?
Well, now, as an adult, I do some Springsteen. I do some Randy Newman. I got to, who I can do is, put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane.
I'm good, keep up.
But as an adult, I do most of my own music. As a kid, we had all those typical child's songbooks that were contemporary songs of the day, like the Bowery. It's an old the Bowery, I'll never go back there anymore. And it was converted to children's music, and that's how we learned the piano, with these children's music books, with songs that were really adult songs of the generation, with children's words. So as a child, I learned that way, but as an adult, like I said, Randy Newman, some Springsteen. I can do Thunder Road, and the last one I played, of course, was "Walking in Memphis" by Mark Cohn.
Yeah. I knew that song. The first note you hit, I said, I love that song. Yep.
Sound good. Keep on.
Yeah. So.
A friend of mine, I interviewed on my other show. He started playing piano at age 3. He just started
3.
Yep. Swear to God. But he actually used to do Liberace.
Oh my God, he's out of my league.
I was laughing. He's got videos online. He's like 13 years old playing all Liberace set. Now, but the reason I asked you about guitar, because he did exactly what you did, and he heard Ozzy, Randy Rhoads, and Ozzy Osbourne, and that changed his life. Now he's a guitar virtuoso, and he's self-taught guitar, but he did take piano lessons. Went to guitar, and that's why I was curious, because it seems like Eddie Van Halen is another one. He started with guitar. Started with piano and went to guitar. So I was wondering if there was a correlation with playing piano and then that leading into guitar.
The only correlation I can think of is, in my opinion, the piano is your basic instrument. Middle C, F, G, E minor. And in my opinion, if you're going to play an instrument, start with the piano, because it can branch out from there. You know what I'm trying to say? The piano is the first instrument, in my opinion, people should learn, before they branch out into other instruments, because everything's here. You've got key of C sharp, key of D, E flat, but it doesn't work that way in a B flat clarinet or a trumpet. You can't just change the keys, but you can on a piano just by changing your hands.
Keep on.
Are you a fan of the band Yes?
The answer is yes, to a point. I think Rick Wakeman, in my opinion, is a fantastic keyboard player. But of course, there was also Jeff Downes and Patrick Moraz, who, by the way, I met a while ago. Patrick Moraz, he was quite a big keyboard player himself. I like some of Yes, not all of it, but Starship Trooper.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is good.
OU812 is obviously their.
That's Van Halen.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's what's, oh my god, my mind went blank on it. But it's the one where Owner of a Lonely Heart 90.
Yeah, there's a number in there.
Yeah, it's the number. That's why. Yeah, OU812 is Van Halen. That I definitely knew, but that one was like would put them on the map with the more generic and more the crowd that was more accessible, I should say. Because I love. I do like, as you mentioned, some of their stuff is really good. Some of it is really weird. The reason I brought them up because I saw Rick Wakeman do a spoken word, and it was great. He's talking about who's the guy that did Morning Is Broken. He became
Cat Stevens.
Yes. So he's talking about writing with Cat Stevens and all these other bands, and about playing with Yes. It was a really interesting talk. And he would talk about the song and then play it. What was that?
Go ahead. No, you please. You finish your sentence. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I can't think of some of the other stories they have, but he actually had a really long career, not just playing with Yes, but with a lot of other musicians.
And he is funny too. He is a comedian, and you wouldn't think that way. Remember years ago, I don't know if you do or not, but back in ABC TV, they broadcasted his Journey to the Center of the Earth, the novel by Jules Verne.
Yeah.
He composed this keyboard symphony. It was on ABC TV, and you can Google it. It's on YouTube. And it was back in the days when you had to have 6 or 7 synthesizers. You couldn't have just 1 or 2. And it was wonderful. And it was just him. He doesn't sing too well, but boy, is he a great keyboard player.
Wow.
Yeah, like you said, he's a hilarious guy. As we're talking, I'm trying to find out the name of that album. Of what it's I see Owner of a Lonely Heart. Yeah, I don't know which song. Oh, wait. Here. Can't. Well, let's see some. Yeah, I don't know. But
Sister Bluebird is a nice song by Yes. Sister Bluebird fly. Yeah, that's a nice tune. There's some good ones they have. And of course,
all Good People.
Oh well, yeah, no, that of course was in All Good People. It's if you listen to the lyrics, that's about a chess game.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, move on back to squares. Yeah, move on back to squares.
That's funny. I see. It's funny. Like sometimes now I'll never listen to that song the same again.
Yeah.
I never saw them. What I did see was Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, Howe. That was the name of the band. They just formed their own thing, and I saw them. I want to say it was late '80s, early '90s, and it was basically Yes. They played all their songs, and it was the core group of the band.
Make the white queen run so fast. She hasn't got time to make you a wife. White Queen talks about the chess game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Keep on.
Yeah. No. Anyway, and of course John Anderson, right, on guitar. Yeah.
Yep. They're great musicians. I don't know what do they do anything? I know Rick is doing the spoken word. I'm not sure are they playing anymore? Not as the band, but.
Not that I know. I know John Anderson. He's last time I saw him, he was very frail. So I don't know if he's touring or not.
Yeah. It's a shame. Yeah. All these great bands that grew up listening to. They're sort of like, that's where I want your opinion on this. What's your opinion on tribute bands?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on how good they are, because tribute bands should do it almost identically. I think Brit Floyd, that's the British version, they're not just a tribute band. They've got a huge following, and they do everything that Pink Floyd does almost to the T. I'm going to make a confession here. Sorry, Lord, but I'm going to confess I'm a closet ABBA fan.
No, don't be sorry. I love ABBA. I love Mamma Mia. I love the band. There's nothing to be sorry about.
So I did see an ABBA tribute band before COVID hit, right here in Clearwater, Florida, in a very large arena, and they were fantastic. They were and of course they said during their show that they're good friends with the original ABBA and they coordinate the music together. And one thing I wanted to tell you, now they're on the subject, 'cause we're talking about trivia here. You know the song Super Trooper?
Yeah.
Super Trooper, if you Google it, it's nothing to do with any trooping or any marching or anything. Super Trooper is the name of the spotlight. The spotlights. It's a company called Super Trooper. They make this. That's Super Trooper. Beams are gonna find me like they always do, but somewhere in the crowd is you. They're singing about a freaking stage light.
Oh.
They had a lot of great songs. And you know, it's funny. I remember I was doing a radio show in 97 and I remember talking about this. They were offered in 97 $1 billion to reform. And they said, nope. I mean, then I guess I don't know what happened with Mamma Mia, how that started and how they sort of got back together. Now they're going to come out with new songs. Yeah. But I love the fact that they said, no, we really don't want the money. We don't need the money. We're fine the way it is. They didn't just do like what all these bands like Motley Crue and Van Halen are doing. We're just, I mean, these bands should have given, go out in style. They should have left a long time ago and just never. I mean, Motley Crue actually had contracts signed saying we will never ever play together again. And then all of a sudden somebody wrote a new contract and said, oh, guess what? You want to do a stadium tour? All right.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I think I mentioned last time I was here, still am to a point, but I kind of lost interest. But for many, many years, I was a big fan of the Moody Blues, and I met several of them, and in my opinion, they should have quit while they were ahead, because what happened is they didn't really break up, but the members started dying off, unfortunately. We just lost Graham Edge last year, the drummer, down here. He lives in Bradenton. He was 80. So now Justin Hayward's doing a solo tour, and so is John Lodge, plays bass. But the Stones, different story. They're a league of their own. But these other bands, time goes on. 50 some odd years.
You know the good tribute band we had on a local artist show? Kyle Frost.
Well.
Hey, Rich. Kyle Frost, he's in Las Vegas, California.
And what did he do?
Did he do a tribute band?
Foreigner, Boston.
Oh, so it's not really a tribute band per se.
Yeah, well, he does a tribute band. Yeah. He's like Lou Gramm. He does the whole Lou Gramm thing.
Oh, okay. Because when you say tribute band, I'm thinking of you are a Moody Blues tribute band. You're a Pink Floyd tribute band, that kind and you do only them.
No, that's what he does. So he has two bands.
That's what they do. They do that. I mean, to the T.
Yeah, Foreigner is like I forgot what it's called, like 4, then the letter N, and then 4. I don't know, something like that. But they and then he also does a Boston tribute band. So he has like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was under the impression it was one band doing different songs.
No.
Oh, okay.
They in California and Las Vegas.
Okay.
They do a lot of traveling.
Well, here's what I get mad at. Like, I'm not going to pay $300 to see a band that has one surviving member that was not even the original member, and you see like, oh, this is the keyboardist that was the 3rd generation of this band. I'm like, why am I paying $300 to see a tribute band when I'd rather go to a bar down the street seeing it? Like, one example is there's a band called Unchained. They're Van Halen. This guy thinks he's David Lee Roth in 1978. He does such a dead-on impression. Everything. Wow. And then I went to another one. I don't know if did you ever live in Connecticut? Do you know this area?
Me? I'm from Connecticut.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So there was a place, I don't know when you moved, but it's a place called Crystal Bees. It's fairly new, but they have a lot of tribute bands there. But they had I went to go see another Van Halen one. It was just 4 guys in jeans and t-shirts playing Van Halen songs. I'm like, this is not a tribute band. This is 4 guys playing their favorite songs from when they grew up. So yeah, I agree with you. If you're gonna do a tribute band, do it right and and be the band. And that's why I like the bands that do it like that. You're seeing the band in their prime and you're paying like $15 for it.
Yeah.
So I actually prefer that than seeing a guy who's 80 years old. And I'm going to give one exception. As I mentioned earlier, I saw Paul McCartney. That guy still rocks.
Yep.
He played 3 hours, 35 songs. He sang I mean, I was talking to somebody who was the Beatles exhibition. I told you they haven't been friends with the Beatles in years, so they haven't seen him. But he said that he saw Paul recently. He said that like the rest of the band sort of helps him out with the vocals. I said, I could really care less. I said, he's got great people helping him out, and the songs sound great. He still has a lot of energy. He's still singing, dancing, joking around. So yeah, him and the Rolling Stones are the exception. Pretty much everybody else retired.
And now I understand too that McCartney for many, many years, even in his 20s and 30s, led a very healthy lifestyle. And I know that Mick Jagger works out every single day. So
how old is he? He runs around stage like as they said, like a chicken on steroids or something like that. But I mean, the fact that he's 80 something years old,
they're both
able to do that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Good for them. Yeah, good for them. Yeah. Well,
have you ever seen? Well, actually, let me ask you this, because I personally hate when people ask me to choose. But in your opinion, who do you like better, Rolling Stones or Beatles? Like, who do you like? Who do you prefer?
I will have to say the Beatles, but not by a wide margin. I like more ballads anyway, and the Stones had a few. The Beatles. I
love
Angie. And you know what? Some of the older ballads he did was, remember Ruby Tuesday and she's like a rainbow. Yeah. So some of their ballads I liked. I didn't really care for the Stones hardcore stuff too much. So I got to go with the Beatles, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Right, exactly. Well, let's do a little trivia on this one now. Do you know who Angie is written about?
Yeah, I did at one time. Now obviously I forgot, but
it's David Bowie's wife.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, they had like a song. It was funny because they said he was taken out of context. When Paul said, he goes, Beatles will always be better. Rolling Stones are just a good blues band. And then all of a sudden, but I think that they later found out that was the media trying to start a big war. They took that sentence out of context because he asked a question about the Beatles versus Rolling Stones, like, because everybody wants people love polarizing. So they love polarization. So they wanted to like get him the bad mouth. And he goes, I love Rolling Stones. But he was saying, he goes, they're a really good blues band, but we had a little bit more original stuff. That's what he was trying to say.
Well, years ago, I had a chance to talk to John Lodge, who played bass for the Moodies, and he was saying that a lot of those guys there, and he included himself in the group, we're all good friends, and we all know each other. And he mentioned what you were just talking about what band is it, what band is this? He goes, I was having lunch with Paul McCartney, we're having this discussion. He's telling me the story, and they go above that. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't let that stuff bother them.
Right, exactly. And they should, after all these, know what I'm surprised about? Because, everything is, to me, is too politically correct. Everybody's so offended over every little thing. So that song, Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar.
Yeah. The Rolling Stones refused to play that. They said they won't play a song. I said, why? First of all, the fans of the Rolling Stones are not going to care. They're not going to be offended. The only people that are going to be offended are nobody's going to ever go see the Rolling Stones in concert. They're in their 80s. Why should you even care what people think anymore? Play the song. It's a classic. It's been played for 40, 50 years. I don't know how long. So don't worry about what two people on YouTube or two people on Twitter are saying about it. I was surprised that they actually said, we're going to take it's not really politically correct. Who cares? It's a great song.
Years ago, Van Morrison with Brown Eyed Girl, he couldn't say Making Love in the Green Grass behind the stadium on TV. He had to say something else. I forgot what it was. And back in the Stones years ago, let's spend some time together. Not let's spend the night. Not let's spend the night together. Let's spend some time together. But so we're talking about trivia, and I do have a little bit of connection with some of the rockers of the time. Years ago, a long time ago, Ray Thomas, who played flute for the Moodies, and he was with the old Moodies, good friends with John Lennon. And and I got this story from more than one person, including Ray Thomas's wife. And apparently a groupie or somebody tried to enter Ray's room because they were sharing it with the Beatles. And John Lennon said, how did she get in there? And Ray said, she came in through the bathroom window. And the rest is history.
I love that story. That's funny.
Yeah.
I finally heard the most plausible explanation to why Pete Best was kicked out of the band. Because I'm sure you hear all the stories about, oh yeah, they were just jealous of him because he got all the women. The people that I interviewed, as I told you, they were friends with Pete Best. They're friends with the Beatles. They knew the Beatles before they were actually the Beatles. They knew Ringo when he was, and it's funny because they hate Ringo. They just think he has an attitude. But anyway, that's another story. But I said, well, tell me why Pete Best was kicked out. And they said the main reason was that originally Pete Best's mother used to do all the booking. And then Brian Epstein came in because he owned a record store down near the place called the Cavern where they would play all the time. He came in and said, I want to represent the Beatles. And he basically took over, and he did not get along with Pete Best's mom at all. She was mad that she wasn't part of the booking and everything. And there was back and forth. And they think that is the main reason. I said, that's probably the most plausible explanation I've heard for luckily they were saying after the anthology came out years later in the 90s, that's when he got his due and he got a lot of money because he was depressed for a little while, but he's over. He's even said, he goes, I would love to get together with Paul, I'd love to get together with Ringo, and it was funny because I know a booker for the Beatles. He books Beatles tours Liverpool, and he put shows together, and he said that he wanted to do a show with Ringo and have Pete Best open. And he said Ringo just would not do it. And without saying anything, I said, I was telling the people I interviewed, and they said, it's got to be Ringo. I said, why do you say that? He goes, he just has an attitude. I said, why would he even have an attitude this late in his career? Why would he even care? I said, people don't worry about it. People know who both of you are. I think it'd be a fun show to see Pete Best open up.
When you saw Paul McCartney, do you recall if Denny Lane played with him or not? Because Denny Lane was his guitarist with Wings.
I don't know. I know that the guitar player, especially the drummer, I've seen for years. I have old DVDs, and it might be the same guitar player. I don't know the names. It was weird because at the end of it, he just thanked he goes, I want to thank my band. He didn't go by name. I was a little surprised by that. So I don't know who played.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Because Denny Lane was in the original Moody's, and he's the one that sang, we've already said goodbye.
That was him?
Wish you wouldn't have to go, but you better go now. Yeah, that was Denny Lane. Yeah.
Oh, so he played after Moody Blues. He went to Wings.
He played before. He was the part of the original Moody Blues with Graham Edge, Mike Pinder, and Clint Warwick. He left, and so did Clint Warwick. Justin Hayward and John Lodge joined. So it was old Moody. The Moody Blues were originally a blues band. That's why they got their name. So and that song was written by, oh gosh, now I can't think of her name. But she was very upset because she did not get much money out of that song. But Bessie Smith, I think her name was, out of Chicago. And that was an old blues song. Anyway.
Hey, Chief. Chief Hall.
Yes, sir.
Are you selling any Amazon music, original stuff from you?
I'll find out every so often. I get a surprise check in the mail for like $30 about once every other year. People are downloading some music occasionally at like 10 cents a pop. So, and when it builds up, I get a little email saying, hey, you're getting a check. I was all right, fine. So,
and that's something you mentioned that, right? Long time ago, I sent one of my songs in a long time ago, and I got it for years. Every quarter, they should send me a check.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more than 20 years.
Yeah. Good.
Check. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you declare it your income tax? I'm just joking.
I have a self-published book, and it's on Amazon. One time I saw $225, and I said, oh my God, what's this? So I called the bank thinking it was fraud, and I realized, no, that's a credit from Amazon. I said, oh, somebody bought a book.
Somebody bought a book.
Oh,
well,
all right, Rich.
In the case of music, you can download my music, and one single at a time. So if you download, I think it's like $1 a download or something.
Oh, okay.
Some people do it. Physical CDs are no longer a thing. If you buy a car now, there's no CD player in there. Everything is online or on a thumb drive.
All right. What is Bandcamp? I know a lot of my friends are in bands. Now, is that where you get 100% of the profit?
Band camp?
Yeah. What is
band
that?
camp? Band camp I knew was bringing your clarinet in a field day, and back in high school, I was band camp. I don't know what this is. This is a new one to me.
I gotta look that up because I have friends who are saying, oh yeah, download it on this, and this is we get 100% of the profits on this. It's not like 100%. Spotify or iTunes.
Well, the word band camp brings back memories when I was a kid, because we had.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
we had band camp.
That's funny. So, I knew exactly what you were referring to. Well, let's see. I'm curious. Bandcamp. Yeah. Discover amazing music and directly support the artists who make it. So it must be something newer.
All right.
And if you like, I'm not sure if your music is on that. Maybe it is, and you don't even realize.
I don't know if it is. I'm working on some new stuff now. So I'll get that out there, and I'll see if I can get it on there somehow. But
hey, Keith, what I was doing one day, I was going to YouTube. I like going to YouTube by myself sometimes in the room. Go do it. And that YouTube, you can make some money.
I know. I don't know how to do it.
But you gotta have, one thing about YouTube, to make money, you gotta have a not just one project going on. You gotta have quite a few, because they can get money from that.
Sure.
And send you some. Sure. And some people is making $10,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not me.
Well, I mean,
not us either. We're not seeing a dime from any YouTube shows.
No.
You have a lot of connections with some classic musicians. Where'd you meet these people?
I was fortunate enough to be able to go on these theme cruises out of Miami.
Love those.
Yeah, and when I first saw them, I said, "This can't be real. This has got to be some kind of No, they're the real bands. They're really gonna be there." So I skipped the first one and the second one, and I met Carl Palmer, and Roger Daltrey, and a few other people, and that's when I really came very, very close to Rod Argent, Zombies.
Yeah,
and he and I suffer from the same affliction, and we both play keyboards, of course. He's a little better than I am, but and we have what's known as Dupuytren's contracture. It's where your hands tighten up. It's a hereditary disease, even though no one in my family recalls having it. I don't think my father had it, and it's usually white males of Northern European descent. And I'm a white male, but I'm mostly Italian, so go figure that one out. But it's an affliction where your hands curl up. So I was able to have it surgically taken care of, and it's better, but it's not. So Rod Argent has the same thing. So we were talking about how to play with impaired fingers. So he was great. The guy was amazing, a great keyboard player, and I'm pinching. I'm sitting here having a drink with the guy who wrote Time of the Seasons. Or she's not there. It's just like too surreal,
That's the same thing for me when I go to the Chiller convention, which is all actors. Yeah. And that's where I'm able to meet these people, and it's so great to allow them like, yeah, I'll be on your show. Yeah, I'll be on your show. I've gotten some really good guests just sort of like you, just going up to them, talking and saying hi to them. So I love the fact that they have these, and I'm mad because I was going to go on a 70s cruise several years ago, and I was so close. I didn't have enough money. So let me get my income tax money. Income tax money came a week too late, where I couldn't afford the down payment, because there were some really good bands on there. America being one of them. I love America. I've seen them I don't know how many times, and I would have loved to. I met the drummer, which he finally left. I think he retired a couple years ago, but he was the only one. I never met Dewey or or was it Dewey Pinnell and John? I forgot what their names are.
Dewey Pinnell, I remember. The other one I don't remember.
The two main guys have been in the band forever.
Yeah.
And Dan Peck was the other one. He quit in the 70s. Yeah. But that was just one of the bands. I'm trying to think of some of the other. But yeah, I a question for you, because somebody told me, I didn't realize like the cruise is so expensive. People are like, it's normally not that expensive. Is that true? You have to pay extra to see the bands, or is that part of the package?
Not the ones I went on. Part of the package. Good. Oh yeah. Yeah, in fact, if I mentioned it last time, forgive me for repeating it, but I had the privilege of letting Alan Parsons use my guitar. I brought one of my guitars on board, and the roadie, his roadie, saw me playing, and he says, "Can Alan use your guitar tonight? We can't get the guitar to work." So I let him use my guitar, and it was kind of cool. I asked him if I could play a song, but he just declined it, saying he couldn't do it, which I respected. But and I went to the party after the show, but Alan Parsons played one of my guitars over there. So, and he's the guy. You must know some of his songs, but he also produced "Dark Side of the Moon" by Pink Floyd. Yeah,
I did not know that. That's actually, I don't know if it still is. It's probably the most successful album, or it was on the record chart for the longest time.
Yeah.
And do you know did you ever have a chance to talk to him about the album? Because I have a question for you about that.
But who?
Did you ever have a chance to talk to him about that album, Dark Side of the Moon?
No, I did not. No, I heard that there's some friction there, and I didn't want to broach the subject.
The reason I ask is because it does work, but if you start The Wizard of Oz and that album at the same time, it goes in sync with the movie. I don't know how.
No kidding.
And years ago, there was a special on backmasking, which is, backward messages, and Pink Floyd loved messing with people. There was one that said, congratulations, you found the hidden message and this and that. So they were really into that, and they knew exactly what they're doing. But I can't remember exactly. Anybody who's watching the show, look it up online. The Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon, and it syncs perfectly. Like there's a scene where they meet the Tin Man, and you hear the heart beating on the Dark Side of the Moon album. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, but it's good.
And speaking of Pink Floyd, I think David Gilmour is a great guitar player, and Kate Bush is getting a lot of recognition now from this new this song she did several years ago for this. Apparently, Stranger Things is a show that's on Netflix, and Running Up That Hill has become a big hit. She did that song 25 years ago, and David Gilmour discovered her.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was as a 16 years old, he discovered her.
Yeah, I saw Roger Waters in concert. And I saw David Gilmour with Pink Floyd in concert, and I've seen several documentaries, and it's just sad because they're both great musicians. There's just too many egos. Well, the problem I think was, and Roger Waters is a control freak. He admits it. But they were saying that he goes, every time I wanted to say, David, write a song, and he's like, I don't know, I don't like it. That's according to what he was saying. And then when he finally left, and David Gilmour kept Pink Floyd, he had to bring his girlfriend to help him write some songs, like that song "Learning How to Fly." It's a great song, but he has his girlfriend write it for him. But either way, it's they're a good band, and but it's funny because Roger Waters does not. I saw him once live already. He does not sing any of the songs. He has all different singers, and he just basically plays the bass.
Yep. He also, in my opinion, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for this because it's on YouTube, but he uses his platform for things sometimes, which artists, in my opinion, you've got a platform, but you're just one person like you and I are. And your opinion should not be expanded just because you happen to be a rock and roll star, because your opinion just as important as mine is. And if you're an American, your vote is as important as my vote is, whether you are a top star or you're a guy just collecting trash in the city streets. You know what I'm saying? So these people who use their platform to broadcast their feelings, whether it's right, left, or whatever, I have a problem with that.
Okay. No, I know what you're saying.
My personal opinion.
No, I definitely agree with you. Yeah. Like I personally, sometimes I think he's a little too hardcore. Yeah. But I agree with what he says, because I'll say I don't care. I hate Trump with a passion. So I like what he says. I do agree with you. It's like I go to a concert to escape all of that. I don't really want to hear about politics. Right. So I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I on that issue I agree with you as well. Yeah. But I don't like what some, not just him, but other musicians do because of their status. That's all.
Neil Young is another one. Neil Young used to do that a lot, like with when he was Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and then like there was a whole thing when he hated George W. Bush, and he wrote this song. And I think Ohio is another one that was a really big protest song. And now in the documentary I saw on Crosby, Stills, and Nash, there were people saying they wanted to kill him. This and that. It's just just music and artists in general are supposed to be entertaining.
And I could say the same thing about movie stars.
I agree with you. I can't stand
your vote is my same thing as my vote.
I know. I can't stand when they win an Oscar. It's supposed to be just a fun show. Just thank everybody instead of saying, I want to take this time to save the American Indian Reservation. It's like, nobody cares right now. We want to just, you can do that. Here's the people I can't stand. Somebody that does, here's the people, let me start with this. Here's the people I like. Somebody like Robin Williams. You didn't know anything he did until after he died. You find out he was going to hospitals, visiting sick kids, giving money to all these organs. He didn't say a word. He just did it privately. Then you have people like Sean Penn who are bringing a camera crew to all these third world countries saying,
Sean
look
Penn,
what a great person I am.
Sean Penn's a hero.
Exactly, because he makes himself, exactly. So, but a real hero doesn't have to tell everybody they're a hero. They don't have to bring a camera crew with them saying, look how great I am. People like that, Robin Williams, you don't know anything about him until after he dies, and everybody's like, oh my God, he did this, he did that, he helped this person, he gave money to this one. And Stephen King's another one. I went on a Stephen King tour. He definitely has his views, and I actually interviewed his son, and they grew up, Democrats, and they basically, he has his views. But this guy he built a baseball field. He helped this guy who couldn't pay his bills. He paid all his medical bills for a year. He built for the handicapped kids a ramp. So he did all these things, and nobody even knows about it except for. So that I like. You don't have to go and just because you have a microphone and broadcast all your. It's just like me. I have my views, but I'm not. In every show, I'm not spewing it, saying, "Oh my God, this and that." And I'm not gonna. Just an example would be if Weibo liked Trump, which I know he doesn't. No, I'm not. To say I wouldn't. But that's his opinion, and I'm not gonna. You can't hate the person. You can hate the guy. You can't hate the person that likes him because the people aren't going anywhere. So you can have now it's gotten so polarizing where if you have a difference of opinion, I hope you die. So wow,
we never used to. We're going off on a tangent here, but we never used to be that way, you know. But now, if you have a show for a certain cause, like Farm Aid or what have you, and that's a different story, you know. But anyway, so
I agree. Like We Are the World. That was what was it? The Live Aid. That was another Farm Aid, Live Aid,
right? Right, and there was another one, I believe, was the National Urban League or the NAACP had a show which was great with John Legend and Common, and it was about issues going on with racial equality. That's the show. That's their point. You can watch it or you don't have to watch it.
Right.
Exactly. No, I see you. The three of us are in complete agreement on that. So I definitely agree with you, and that's why it's funny because when I saw him, my fiance loves Roger Moore. She's, you want to see him again? I really could care less if I see him again. He puts on a good show, but I don't really care less.
You can tell your fiance that I have Radio Chaos. That's one of his solo albums, Radio KAOS, and I really like it.
Yeah, he definitely is very talented.
Oh, yeah.
And,
anyway.
Yeah. So do you have a specific, sounds like you're just like us, where you have very eclectic, you can go from ABBA to Pink Floyd to Yes. Do you have a favorite genre that you like to play?
I do, and I hopefully will close out the show with one of them.
We're going to.
Yeah, thank you. I'm all over the place as far as my taste goes, and I can always play with a band virtually any kind of music they have. But on my own, it sounds a little sappy, but I really like this new age stuff by Jim Brickman, Yanni, George Winston. That's all I can. There are others that I can't really think of right now. But new age is more of a, atmospheric would be the right word. A lot of keyboards, some guitar. Windham Hill Records. If you look them up, they are they sell their mainstay is new age music. Tuck and Patty would be another new age group that I like, and it's kind of just more namaste, relax.
I love that. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love it. And it's funny because you mentioned new age. When the way people put labels on different kinds of music, and I'm going to give an example. When I was doing my research on Mystic Bowie for the Talking Dreads show, I was watching a documentary on the Talking Heads, and they said they really didn't make it popular until it went from punk to new wave. They're playing the same music, doing the same thing. All of a sudden, it became cool to be new wave, but it wasn't cool to be punk. They're like, we're playing the same songs we played last week at CBGB's.
Well, I don't mean to contradict what you're saying. That's new wave.
Yes,
I play New Age.
Oh no, I know that.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, I did get that. No, you said New Age, which I know, like Namaste is.
Yeah.
No, but I was talking about when you mentioned New Age.
Yeah.
I was mentioning the different genres, and basically, just because it has a title on it, people either think it's cool or it's not cool. And I was thinking that
they just changed it.
Yeah,
they just changed the title.
If you were playing the same music and you called it punk, you're like, oh my god, that Keith Hall, he's horrible. But you call it new age. So relaxing, so cool.
And speaking of David Byrne, I do want to see his tour, his play. Was it American? Oh gosh.
Yeah, he was talking about that, and I can't remember him. But I looked it up online. I don't know if it's playing anymore.
Oh, okay, but he is very talented.
Yeah, no, it's funny because he actually said that he is one of the best songwriters he's ever worked with, or he didn't work with him, but he just said he's the greatest storyteller. And I've heard other people say that too. Dave Matthews was saying the same thing. So he definitely is a very talented guy, but sometimes it's the most talented could be the moodiest, and that's what that's what I hear about about him.
Yeah, I can see that in him.
Yeah. But what was the play about? Because I didn't even realize it was a play.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. All I know is there's a lot of music in it. Yeah. I don't want to Google it now because I'm talking on the air here, but American something, and I forgot what it is, but it's a lot of his music, and knowing David Byrne is from I don't know him professionally, but knowing him as an artist, it's probably a little bit of a sarcasm in the title too. I got a funny feeling it's got something to do with American, be proud to be American, that kind of stuff. But knowing him, he's probably going to turn the screw a little bit too, And that's fun. Yeah. So I like the fact that you do you have CDs that people can purchase of the new age stuff that you like to play? Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can. The CD distributor is out of business, but it's all online, and you can go on Amazon, you can go on Spotify, you can purchase music, and but my CDs now, they're getting kind of old. My last one I did was about almost 10 years ago, and I've been slowly working on new music, but then I give up on it for a while. Then I do a little more. So I'm building up a new series of songs and a lot of synth, a lot of piano. You record at home now, or do you have a studio? Oh no, I record at home. I call this room my studio actually, because what's nice about doing it on your own, it's you don't have to look at the clock. Yeah. You're not paying by the hour. And I've got the equipment here. I've got the equipment on the computer. I've got my interface over here. And it works out really well. I can even do vocals, even though that's a little tricky because I have to really be careful of the ambient noise. When I record on the keyboard, it's strictly line in, line out. There's no issue with ambient noise. Well, because you mentioned before that you can sing, but it's not your favorite thing to do. So a lot of your songs are the instrumentals? They're all, well, I shouldn't say that. My first album's got some singing. Most of it is instrumental. Yeah. And that's, I'm mostly guitar and singing. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? No better time than now. Okay. Let's play. What do you want to play? A newer song? You want to play? You know what? You want to do, we have some times if you want to do an older one and maybe do a newer one. I think I'll do, if you don't mind, I'll do one song I was working on for today because I wanted to do it for the show. It's a song called Equinox, and it's from my second CD, which, by the way, is called Equinox. And it's a real gentle song, so kind of be patient, and I'll let you know when it's over so you can wake up, okay? Now, I hope it comes through okay. As I mentioned last time I talked to you, I did this interview with you using an iPad, and the sound quality wasn't that good. Now I've got this set up, or hopefully I've got this wired up correctly, so the piano will come across pretty good. So here we go, Equinox. I'm ready. Weibo, are you ready? 4. It's a very slow pace.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Good job, Keith.
It's
Thank
like
you.
the soundtrack of my life.
So
No,
yeah, that's
no,
on my,
so-
that's on my Equinox CD, and um, I've got a few other songs, and I'm working on more now. And what's really nice is there is so much software out there now that
Yeah.
you can do your own recording with, and
Hey, Keith, you know your friends want to be on a local artist show, so let us know.
Well, they're all down here, so I don't think they're local for you guys.
Well, it's still a local artist show.
Oh, okay, they're local down here.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah, very good.
Local will be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just to let you
promote the local.
just let you know, it's called American Utopia. I found out.
American, I knew there was an American there somewhere. Yeah,
Yep.
American.
So that is the name of the play, which I was trying, after I did the interview, I tried to find if it was playing in New York, and I think it ended, but I would love to say, I wish I knew about it earlier. I didn't even know he was doing that. But Keith, it was so great to have you on the show.
Oh.
Once again, I really love that song, and
Keith Hall.
You can go Google it, Keith T. Hall Equinox. You can find it on YouTube. There's a video that goes along with it.
I want to make sure you get your 10 cents. So how do I get money for you?
Go Google my name. Excuse me, Keith T. Hall. You'll see my stuff, and you can Google Keith T. Hall Equinox. It'll come up on YouTube. It'll come up anywhere. You'll find it. You'll find it. In fact, kind of funny because my profession was really in engineering, environmental planning, and that kind of thing. So, but when you Google my name, it says Keith T. Hall, musician. Well, that's not what I went to college for, but so.
Well, it's funny because, like, similar to me, if you type my name in, it comes up Rich Sayre comedian, Rich Sayre motivational speaker, Rich Sayre. It's like,
and Rich, I'm going to tell you before I let you go. I told this Weibo, I swear to God, in a stack of Bibles, I met you years ago.
I bet you did.
Did you ever go to Central, or are you familiar with? Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't go to Central, but my brother did, and I was there a lot because I was getting into radio at that time, and a friend of mine ran a radio station, WFCS, and I had a show there, and I went to so many events there.
I met you because I was news director of the radio station, and I said, and I'm going, I know that guy.
That's funny. Yep. I remember. Was it? I want to say 94, 95.
Well, then I was early. Well, I was earlier, but
wait, no. I started in 91, 92, 91, 92, 93, somewhere around there.
There's a reason why I know I met you, because I started way earlier. I'm quite a bit older. I was 74 to 78, but I'm a WSCS alum, and every year we got together for homecoming and had these events. So I believe I met you at one of those events.
I was definitely at one of those events. Yeah. I did a whole. There was some of my friends did. Oh, there was bands that played there in that hall. Well, is it Welty? I think it's called.
Well, the auditorium was Welty.
Okay, so I saw bands, but I went there. But then I did stuff, and there was like Byrne. I mean, there was so many things going on in Central.
Yeah.
People used to say, "Oh, are you an alumni?" I said, "No, I never went here. I never been here
before." That's the right thing. Yeah. And go to the campus someday. You'll be blown away what it looks like now.
Now it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I believe you and I crossed paths.
We had to, because I actually had my own show at WFCS.
Yeah.
And so it was on for a little while, and I had a great time. My friend knew that I wanted to be in radio. He was the program director, and he goes, "Rich, I know you don't go here, but I can get you some airtime." So all right, let's do it.
Well, before I let you go, when I was news director at WFCS, I had a press pass, and I met President Ford.
Wow.
And during the news conference, now you're in radio. You got to kick out this one. I was all of 21 years old in 1974 or 75. Ford was in town. I'm doing my thing at the desk. I get press desk. And right next to me is a young guy named Bob Schieffer.
Oh.
Yeah. And he became a superstar in the news. Right next to me. I said, "Mr. Schieffer, how are you?" And he shook my hand, but he was busy doing his real news for CBS. So
that's funny. Yep.
Yeah.
No, wow. That's a very small world.
Small world.
And I want to leave off on a funny story, because we talked a lot about classic rock, and I think this story is hilarious. It goes to back to Mystic Bowie. He said, "Did you ever hear of Compass Studios? It's a recording studio in Hollywood, in California. But I guess a lot of major stars used to be there." And he said when he was 13 years old and this guy had a motorcycle, he goes, "I'm 13 years, I don't really care. And the guy was giving me rides on his motorcycle. I wanted to hang out with him." So the guy used to give him rides on his motorcycle. And one time there was this drunk guy trying to get in the back of the motorcycle. He pulled him off and he got scared and he ran. 25 years later, he was opening up for Keith Emerson. And he said Keith Emerson was telling the story on stage. He goes, "Wait a minute, that was you?" And he goes, "Yeah, you want to know that drunk guy you pulled off of the motorcycle and almost killed? Ringo Starr."
Oh,
That's great.
And he goes, "I had no idea who any of these people were." 20 years later, he's talking about it on stage, and I was, "Wait a minute, that was me."
Yep. Very good.
Yeah, no, I
appreciate you coming down, Keith, again.
Coming down was easy. I went right in my room and turned my computer on. Piece of cake.
I told my wife, "Going in the room." I said, "I'm going to do my show."
I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be downloading some music. I really loved what you played there, and I cannot wait to see what's going to be happening with the new band. I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot of stuff.
I will keep you both. I'll keep both of you posted.
We will.
Thank you very much.
Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. That wraps up the latest episode of Rich and Weibo Present the Local Artist Show. I want to thank Keith T. Hall, as you find him online, where you can please download his music. Make sure he gets that 10 cents. He deserves it.
Because there is a Keith Hall in Australia. He's a guitar player, and I don't want him getting my money.
Yeah, we want the money to go to Keith T. Hall. And we also need to thank the great John Bristol of Elmo Productions for always doing a superb job editing this program and making us look good. Lastly, but definitely not least, I need to thank you, the viewer, for always tuning in. Enjoy your day, everyone.
Good night, folks.
All right.
Available in one collection. Confessions of a Frenetic Mind. 5 tales of blood-curdling terror. Available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
All of a sudden I hear, "Brim, brim."
What's a diaphragm again?
Ha! We caught one.
They're supposed to be weird.
Oh, yeah, no. If you say so.
I've always wanted to be in a movie.
Waiting around for autumn, waiting around for autumn, I was watching